let me show you the options chain for the VIX. Forget about May for now. May is loaded, but May's loaded because of what's happened over the last, month. June, these are new, these are fairly new, calls. So if I look here, this is June 18th, the VIX, the volatility index. We are currently at 24. So at the money is right here in this shaded line, right? At the money. Look at how much is above or below the line, right? So you have on the put side, you've got some volume here. At 16, there's people that have the 16 here. 170,000, 123,000 at 18, 110,000 at 20. Some 30, 40, 50, 60s over here. That's all out of the money, right? Let's look over to the call side. So here we are, 23, 24. So at the money, you got about 60,000. At the money here, you have about 70. That's about the same, right? So, that could be butterflies, but hard to tell. They could be verticals too, just different verts. Hard to tell. 20, here's 24. So at the monies. So if you look at open interest is, and you can see open interest here. Oh, by the way, which is what I really wanted to show. This is what came in today. What came in today? Does somebody have a word to describe this amount of volume? Yeah, puny. Okay, set a sail, I like it. Really puny volume coming in here. Is there anybody that really thinks that the VIX is going to drop into the teens right now, going into, going into the summer? Well, here's the thing that happens. You've heard that importers loaded up on inventories in March, right? You guys saw the reports, you heard about it, we talked about it, right? They want to get ahead of the tariffs. Just somewhat ridiculous, but understandable. So, problem is they loaded up, but because of what's been happening in the economy over the last couple of years, regardless of these reports that come out, University of Michigan, whatever it is, people are not spending as much money as they were. So if you're a company that just loaded up on a fuck ton of product, but people aren't spending, and the summer is typically not a big spending season to begin with, and we're still going to be in tariff negotiations probably for another month or so. And. That's a pretty scary situation. Because you have to have the consumer. You can't do anything without a consumer. No matter how good your product is, how cheap it is, it's too expensive. You got to lower price. You got to increase price. It's all based on is there a consumer that wants to buy? And true, Fly Angler. The people aren't making minimum payments. The last numbers I saw was that some number close to 15% of all Americans have not paid their credit card bill. They are in delinquency. 15%. That's a huge number. I think it's over 10% is car loans that are defaulting. We have well over $1 trillion of credit card debt across the country. So, these these companies here that sell product loading up on imports as just such a knee-jerk reaction that this could set up for a very rough summer. Now, well, Michael, that's your narrative. Okay, you're right. At the money VIX for June. Okay, here's some in the monies volume. Open interest before this morning. in the money. 100,000, 70,000, 23,000, 70,000, 22,000. Okay. About, good amount here too. These are out of the money, so forget I just said that. But now let's look at what investors are doing on the call side. As I scroll up, what do you see? What you see is every single strike 40, 50, 40, 30, 16, 74, 25, 44, 15, 15, 67, 18. At 37, 100,000, 14, 10. At 40, 106,000, 137,000, 72,000, 160. Just this one alone. Just this one, just random one, right? That one. I don't know if you guys have calculators that go this high. Mine usually doesn't. 160,000 calls times 100 shares, if you want to just look at it this way. That's 16 million. 16 million. At a strike of 50. Does someone have the ability to do that? What's 16 million times 50? Is it 9 billion perhaps? I think it is, but let's just, is it, I'm sorry, 5, 6, 8. Is it 8 billion? No, I don't think it's 800 million. I think it's 8 billion. Some say 800 million. Some say 8 billion. Well, 16 million times 5 would be 80. So I guess it's 800 million. 800 million. Yeah? Okay. This represents almost $1 billion. $1 billion almost. Just there alone. Look at this. 70, 44, 23, 16,000, another 100. Look at this. At VIX 100, there's 163,000 calls. Well, the reason why that far out is because if the VIX spikes like that to like 50, 60, 70, 80, this is all premium, right? And when you're way up there, you're talking about, 10x, 20x return because the premium explodes. And if you're sitting on way up here premium, it will explode more. So it's just, look, 150, VIX 150. The more important number that I want you to take note of is this. Today, at VIX 85, we're at 24. Today, 4,000 calls. At VIX 80, almost 2,000 calls. At VIX 70, 1,600. At VIX 60, 3,600, 1,500, 1,000, 1,000. Just today alone, there's thousands and thousands and thousands of calls being bought for the month of June. Look at VIX 25, right? 13,000 calls just bought right here. 13,000 times $240. 13,000 times $240 is $3 million. Today, just today so far, this morning, this is $3 million of calls that were just bought today. I do not believe that the people who buy the VIX, the corporations, the entities that buy the VIX are really so worried about what the talking heads say about depression. I think they've got their own analysts. Just, David, you know how like I talk about, well, we look for a setup, we build a narrative about it, and if then, well, if this happens, then, that might happen. And then we look for confirmation and we make our decisions based on that. If we're doing that, then wouldn't it make sense that the institutions and the hedge funds are doing a similar type of analysis or even deeper? Do you really think that institutions and hedge funds are making decisions based on what talking heads are saying, right? So retail investor is affected by talking heads, but not hedge funds. So this is real fear of the markets tanking in June.
Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video from Trade With Me Now. Make sure to go ahead and like this video and subscribe to our channel so you make sure that you catch our next video right when it's released. Also, if you have a question or comment, please leave that in the comment section below. And of course, if you want to learn more about Trade With Me Now or join our community of profitable traders, go to tradewithmenow.com. There's also a link in the description below.